Good evening, welcome to our Heroes Half Hour. I'm Hammy, this is FailCraft Casts. Hope you're very well and good this Friday. What we're going to be doing tonight is a bit of FailCraft Fun Friday, and we're having some fun with Heroes of the Storm. We're going to jump into and take a look at Brightwing, the support fairy dragon from none other than Ashenvale in the world of Warcraft. So in our play and learns, we introduce different heroes and their different playstyles in a new player-friendly way. So let us jump in and take a look at Brightwing and all the different things that Brightwing can do. Okie dokie, so Brightwing. Brightwing is a support. So we've discussed a little bit about the playstyle of supports in our other episodes, where we've gone through the different class roles. Of course, you have Assassin, Warrior, Support, and Specialist, and broadly speaking what they do. So now we're going to jump in and have a look at Brightwing herself. She is ranked as hard. I would not say she is hard, but she has a different support style to some of the others. So we've discussed supports as generally being, as their name indicates, characters which in some way or another work with their team, generally in team contexts, to be more effective and to swing the tide of the battle. They're not going to be the people necessarily always on the front lines doing all the damage. They're not going to be soaking up all the enemy attacks. They may not be the quarterback, but they may certainly be directing plays. So what does Brightwing do? Brightwing, if we take a look at her kit, she has some damage in Arcane Flare, so she deals damage in an area and deals greater damage to targets in the centre. So imagine two concentric circles, a circle within a circle. The middle circle does more damage, and then there's still damage in that wider circle too. Polymorph, disable and damage enemy, very very useful, just like World of Warcraft, turning something into a sheep or similar. Pixie Dust increases an ally's movement speed and blocks basic attacks against that ally, so that gives you a buff that you can use on one of your team too. Emerald Wind, when you get to level 10, of course, you can choose from one of two heroic abilities for your Heroes of the Storm hero. And Brightwing has either Emerald Wind, which is an expanding ring that pushes and damage enemies, so that's basically a big area of effect, area knockback that does some damage. We've got Blink Heal, which is a very interesting heroic. Now that basically will let you blink between characters. And there are a certain amount of charges, and each blink you do between characters, you heal some damage on that character. Now obviously there are talents and similar that can tidy that up. So the trait of Brightwing, now this is what makes Brightwing a little bit different from some of the other support characters. The other support characters such as Lily have direct heals that they throw down. Now Brightwing has a passive heal, and by passive heal it just ticks away if you are near allied heroes. So Brightwing will heal for a certain amount per tick, per second, per time period, whatever you want to call it, allied heroes, but only when you're near them. So you cannot throw big heals in a fight. You are just continuously restoring health. Unless you take Blink Heal, then you can restore direct health to a hero by toggling your heroic and jumping in. So how does this make Brightwing's style a bit different? So if we take a look at some other supports like Tyrande, whose name I can never really pronounce, Tyrande has got a direct heal. If we then go and take a look at Lily herself, who I don't actually have yet, but we can take a look at Lily. Healing Brew, and then also has Jug of Thousand Cups as another heal too. So another direct heal as well. So Brightwing has to be played by staying with her team in most situations and making sure that healing benefit is triggering, but then can also in a crazy sort of way in team fights jump in and do lots and lots of damage and fun as well. So let's jump in some games. We've taken a quick look at Brightwing's kit, and now we're just going to jump into a game, play as support, and give you a few ideas as to both how you can play support as a new player, how you can get used to the role, and then also how you can get used to and maybe how you might enjoy playing as Brightwing. So with Brightwing, with any support character, as I said at the beginning, you're not going to be throwing yourself into the heart of the action in terms of running in and hitting people in the face at melee range or short range or anything like that. You really, as Brightwing, you do have some damage. You can do some nice damage, and there are some talents that we will have a look at as we level up. Do remember that as you level up your character in any match of Heroes of the Storm, you have a talent system where you can specialise your character and the spells that you use, maybe a bit more towards damage, maybe a bit more towards healing, as you see fit. And there are also some things like Bribe, where you can bribe mercenary camps and all sorts of other fun things as well. So let us jump on in. Our match is kicking off, and we are going to be flying into the Cursed Hollow. So I will quickly explain what the Cursed Hollow is. So basically that's a really good explanation just on the string. screen there. In Cursed Hollow, you grab tributes as they spawn. If you get 3 tributes, then you get a curse on the enemy team, and that curse means that their forts and their base defences do not attack, and then also all of their minions are reduced to 1 hit point, which means you can pretty much insta-hit all of their minions. So that's all pretty nasty. Getting the curses and the tributes and heroes in this map is almost as important as pushing the lanes, is almost as important as teaming up with your team for team fights. So you need to be balancing all of these things successfully. I'm just making sure that I've got some volume and that you can actually hear the game sound. I very much hope that is the case. Sorry for the Windows 8ness. You heard it. Right, okay, let's go. I think we are good to go. Okie dokie. Right. So, as Brightwing and as a support, everyone at the moment is running for our top watchtower, so I'm going to go and join them, like a good team player. You can see in my talents, I can improve my shield, I can increase my damage. I'm going to go with improve shield because I want to be playing more as a support character in this game. I'm not going to buff my damage. You could go with damage if you so preferred, but I'm going to go with more supporty options. So at the moment we've got 4 of our players up in this top lane, probably a little bit excessive. I'm going to make my way down, and as a support character I want to be teaming up with one of our assassins or one of our characters who's pushing a lane, probably not a solo laner. Oh, straight into the action. If I can just get a... Oh, Murky is down but not out. I've thrown my damage but that's not coming down. Now as Brightwing, if I just sit here, you can see that my team are getting healed up. You can see Kerrigan here, she is getting healed up a little bit quicker than she normally would be, but just because I'm in the area. So that is how our passive works. I'm going to keep with Kerrigan. I think Stitcher should be fine against Murky, and there are 2 in this bottom lane, so I'm going to team up with Kerrigan and we're going to see what we can do here. You can see my throwing of Pixie Dust there, and Pixie Dust gives Kerrigan more movement speed and will block hero basic attacks, so it makes her more tanky. Nice bit of stuff to do. I'm going to then fly on in with my damage spells and keep a shield up on Kerrigan. You can see that Kerrigan's health is regenning as well, so at the moment as this support style is Brightwing, I am not getting too close into the action. I'm hanging around the side, making sure I'm close enough to Kerrigan so she is benefiting from my heal. Kerrigan has abandoned me, so I'm just going to sit here. I know Diablo is in this bush. This is not ideal. Kerrigan seems to have gone for a gank on Murky mid lane. Nova is missing. We did of course have Nova along with Diablo in this lane. So I'm not going to spend too much of my mana. In the early game phase as Brightwing, or indeed as a support, you generally want to be finding ways to support your team and keeping your lane in good order. Okay, we're up to level 4, so I can get damage over time. I can shield an allied hero or reduce damage from 1 spell. I'm going to grab another shield. So not only can I grab Pixie Dust, I can also throw a protective shield as well. If they really want to get aggro with me, they can. We can see that Nova is coming in for some, but I can Fairy Dust, Pixie Dust, pardon me, myself as well. So I'm going to request some assistance. I should really not be playing as a solo person in this lane, but Brightwing with Arcane Flare, you can see that I can do some damage to minions, even though Nova is clicked somewhere around here. I'm not really suffering too much at this point in time. No, we'll see a bit more of Brightwing's utility as we get into the mid to late game. We'll just throw down a little polymorph there to get Diablo off my case, and then I can throw down Arcane Flare. Maybe if he's running away, that will do some damage as well. The Pixie Dust on myself will just give myself a little bit of shielding. Now, you can obviously see that I'm not an assassin, I'm not a specialist with laning capability. You can see that Brightwing is pretty slow when it comes to all of this laning. However, there's a team fight kicking off somewhere, and you know what, it looks as though that my team have done a great job in terms of taking the first tribute while I've been waiting in bottom lane. So ideally what I should have done if I was a little bit more awake is move up to support my team at that tribute. Now we've moved to level 7, so we're rapidly getting up, so I can actually take 2 different traits. I can either rapidly heal, activate to released with a timed heal there, or I can have a soothing mist on each ability use. So I'm actually going to go for a direct heal. I'm going to go for Gust of Healing, which means that on that trait, I can activate it and get a bigger sort of health boost to everyone around me. And finally we have Pudge coming back. Stitches is coming to provide some help. I'm going to throw a shield on Stitches. We're then going to put pressure on him. Diablo is probably going to try and run here. We're not going to be able to burst him down. But Stitches' hook pulls him back into play. And now Stitches and I are pushing the lane quite nicely. Okay, Tribute 2 is spawned, so I'm going to say that I'm on my way. And we're going to go and move together. Brightwing, being a dragon, doesn't really need a mount. So she just moves with a little bit more speed than a character would normally on foot. Okay, I can see that Murky is going to be pushing. I can see Diablo is pushing. I'm going to ping to my team and show what's going on. I'm going to just chuck a little fairy dust on Kerrigan. And a fight is kicked off massively here, so I'm going to jump in and see that I've thrown down my heal. I'm then going to look to throw a shield on Stitches as well, and then I might just be able to throw in a little piece of polymorph. I'm going to try and polymorph Diablo as he comes around to the right hand side here. Polymorph gets down on Diablo. Diablo is running. I'm not going to be able to take him out. But we've managed to lose one of our team. I might be able to take enemy Stitches out. Oh, but two of them are flown in on me. I need some help rather badly. Oh, and Murky comes in. I'm just going to throw a shield on myself to try and keep myself in play, but we can see Murky's egg there. Oh, and this team fight has gone very badly for Team FailCraft. Oh, that was messy, even though I got the Murky egg. So the challenge there was, at the moment I didn't have my ulti. That might have made the difference, and the enemy team was all on very low health. So you can see in that fight our damage dealers were not focusing. You'll generally tend to find that if you have a team fight like that, now was I playing my best? I was kind of around the edges. I probably wasn't quite as close to my team as I should have been. So in terms of giving healing, I could have been more close to my team. My gust of healing didn't quite grab all of my team as well. But one of the challenges we had there was that the enemy team you saw were all on very, very low health, but none of them were dead. So what that generally tends to mean is that the team has not been focusing. Now, what do I mean by focusing? Focus firing. So ideally in a team fight, what you want to be doing is picking off the most damaging target first. So on our enemy team here, we'd probably be looking to take someone like Nova, an assassin, and then maybe taking someone like Tassadar as support, then killing Stitches and Diablo. So the reason for that is in a team fight, you generally want to try and pick off the biggest damage dealing threat first, as a rule of thumb. It's a very general rule of thumb. It all depends on team compositions, but Diablo and Stitches, they're tanky, warriors type characters who have a lot of health and are slow to kill, and they will probably deal a bit less damage than, say, Nova, who's an assassin. Nova will deal more damage, but she's also weaker in terms of her health pool. So as a result, it was probably not a bad idea to take out Nova. Oh, a team fight is kicked off, so I'm going to move in. We've managed to grab Nova. Good job there, and a 4 versus 1, our teams managed to come together. Tassadar has moved in at exactly the wrong time, and our team is going to move to engage. He has been hooked in. Murky comes in there. I'm going to try and throw a heal out on Tassadar as well, and that is 2 down. Lovely stuff. And then, just as a nice little thing, I'm going to activate my healing wind. You can see that my team are all getting nicely topped up for a push on the mid lane. A nice little shield. I can of course throw some shields down on my team to make sure they're not taking too much damage. Stitches, it's just, oh, March of the Murlocs has been triggered. Let's get out of there. Oh, Murky. Okay, so I'm just chilling there, making sure that my team is getting healed up, and we're now on to level 13 talent. So we've got target getting a shield upon a rival. That will mean that I took blink heal, so you'll be able to see that in the next big team fight we have. Just going into a fight here, I'm going to throw a shield on Stitches. I'm actually going to try and throw 2 shields on Stitches. Nova has come out from the back. We need to make sure that we take Nova. As I mentioned before, she is the big damage dealing threat. If I can get my shield up, then I'm going to throw it onto Kerrigan. However, Kerrigan's out. We found the Murky egg. I'm going to make sure that we take that out. Makes Murky invulnerable, and this team fight is looking a little bit messy. We need to make sure that we all focus together. However, happily we've kind of got the tribute covered, and that looks as though we're going to get 3rd tribute. I'm just going to make sure that I interrupt this Diablo by any means necessary. Even though I'm getting slung back into the fight, you can see that I can blink heal onto Kerrigan. That moves me out of the way. I can then blink heal onto Diablo, which moves me even further out of the way. I can then blink heal back onto Kerrigan, throw down a shield on Kerrigan, which will keep her alive, and I'm looking to try and throw a drop on Tassadar. However, I'm low, and it looks as though the Unblessed King needs to focus focus Nova. So that was a situation where we really should have taken that tribute. You can see again Nova on low health, Brutal Talisman on low health, and also similar. So there we go, Nova is taken down. However, now Raynor is going to get taken down, and we're 2 tributes to 2. It's going to get very dangerous here. So our team really struggling in the team fights. We are not behind in the match, but we are losing these team fights because we are not focusing the enemy hero. In terms of my play there, you can see me using as Brightwing, jumping around with Blink Heal. Do use Blink Heal to get yourself out of trouble, as well as saving your team. You can see that not only was I in a very messy situation there, I could Blink Heal twice. Not only was I healing my team, I was also getting myself out of the middle of a very nasty situation. So at this point in time, even though both front lines of both enemy bases are still pretty much intact, the enemy team's just got a slight advantage. Okay, we all need to contest that tribute now, because this is the crucial one. We're both 2-3. Whoever gets this one is going to be getting the first curse. That means enemy minions will be debuffed and all kinds of things. So I'm going to flag that there's danger. All of them are coming on the other side. We will hide in the bush and wait for them to emerge. So as the fight kicks off, I'm just making sure that I'm shielding up my team in the right ways. I'm now blink healing onto Diablo, making sure that I can keep him alive there. So you can see a double blink heal onto Diablo, and then unleashing my healing wind, try and make sure that I keep people alive a bit more, and then trying to fly in. I managed to get a polymorph down, and I might be able to drop. Oh yes, very nice. Managed to just quickly drop blink healers then again back up, so you can see me blink healing onto Stitches. Very nice, we've managed to grab that, so our next stop is probably to push middle, I'd imagine, or top. Okay, we're pushing top. So you can now see that because the curse is down, I'm going to say that targets take more damage. You can see that none of these towers are fighting back. We've killed 3 of the enemy team. It is the absolute ideal time to push further. My team are not pushing the fort, they've gone for the mercenaries. The entire enemy team is going to be back up shortly, and you can see we've still got 30 seconds. So we've got some time to do some damage. You can also see that we've got Siege Ogres here. Siege Ogres being the very useful mercenaries or neutral minions that you can kill and then summon to help you in Heroes of the Storm. They're all indicated by the small yellow icons on the map. Meanwhile, I'm just going to pop round and make sure that my team gets some healing. Ooh, okay, I need to blink heal out of this. I'm going to quickly throw down a polymorph. Oh, they're all flying in. Blink heal gets me out of trouble. Double blink heal also gets me out of trouble. I'm going to run away as fast as I can. Oh, if I'd shielded myself with pixie dust, I might have just lived there. And I also had a protective shield as well, so shielding yourself, a very good plan. I'm just going to ping and let my team know that there is indeed danger in that there area. So a good push for Team Blue. We managed to get a little bit of turret. If we'd all been going together as a 5, we might have had some more success. We did get this golem, as you see, but he's only going to take 1 tower and then perish. So effectively, when you get the curse, if your entire team up and charge in with some speed, then you can have a lot of fun. So far you've seen me using a little bit of Arcane Flare and team fights to lay down some damage, Polymorph to try and get nasty people away from me, and Pixie Dust to both buff and aid my own team and myself. Blink Heal has managed to not only heal people in team fights, but has helped me actually escape from some very nasty situations too. And then we've seen a use of Soothing Mist as a trait, giving me an activated Soothing Mist for a little burst heal to my team. I'm going to come into the middle and support now. We can see that Nova is chasing down Raynor. I'm going to up and into stealth she goes. So I'm going to flag that there's danger here because Nova is somewhere behind. Okay, I'm going to stick with Reyna. I don't want him dying on my watch. And there is Nova. Nova has just undone herself. There we go. We managed to pick Nova off very nicely there. Now suddenly you can see that we have Reyna back up to full health, and our team is threatening middle, which is excellent. I'm not entirely sure why Dark 1 is going quite so close in as an assassin. So it's very important, as the enemy team are on 2 out of 3, we need to grab this tribute. So I'm going to go and support Kerrigan on the tribute. Now because the enemy team has been chased quite far back, that's good. Kerrigan should get an uncontested tribute here, and then we can get straight back to business. I'm now going to go and support our Patches, Stitches, because he is very busy, being an uber beastly tank. And if you team up a healer such as Brightwing with a tank such as Stitches, then their enemy team is going to be spending oh so much time trying to take them down. Meanwhile, our whole team is converging on this boss golem. I'm going to go in and provide them a little bit of passive healing goodness. I'm just going to throw down my heal, and we can see that because I've thrown down that soothing mist, Diablo is getting topped up quite quickly. I'm just going to throw a little buff on myself. I don't have a mount, but if I throw this buff on myself, at least I'm travelling at a similar speed. Now with our golem down, our team fighting team is hopefully going to come together. Oh, I'm going to just move in and support Kerrigan. Kerrigan is chasing down Nova, as we've identified Nova is pretty dangerous. So if I can help my team take out Nova, that's good. However, we're getting very stray out here as a team. Got to be careful. Oh, that's so annoying. I almost got Nova. Nova's going to escape to live another day. However, probably our friend Tassadar is not. And with a last minute blink heal, you can see that I just managed to save the day. However, we could be in some trouble here because I'm going to just throw down all of my heals to try and prevent. Oh, Murky has decided to suicide himself. However, Dark One is standing on top of the pufferfish, which is not a good idea, because that pufferfish, of course, doth blow up. And happily, we have managed to steal that other Murky, which is excellent. Murky is down, and because Murky is down, there we go. Managed to get the Murky egg, and hopefully we kill Murky too. Lovely. So because we managed to grab that next tribute, we're in a very strong position to push into the rest of this game, even though some mercenaries are being picked up. Okay, next up, level 20, our top level talent, so we can get a shield to all nearby allies. That sounds good. Or I can have more charges for my blink heal. I'm actually going to go for more charges for my blink heal. That'll keep me nice and versatile as I keep pressure on. In team fights, it will make me very, very strong. So if we can get another tribute, then we should be able to push and potentially end the game. Meanwhile, my team is just chilling out, making sure we get this golem. I'm going to throw down some shields, put some damage down as well, and put some heals on. Make sure that my team is nice and healthy when it comes to the next team fight. There is the tribute, so our entire team should be moving for that. We can also see that the enemy team has been moving for it just behind us on the minimap, so I'm going to jump on in and put some pressure on. Oh, zero tool. Okay, 1 down, 2 down. I'm going to start blink healing onto Dark One to try and keep him alive, and then I'm going to throw down a shield as well. So a lot of additional healing support there for Dark One, but you can see I'm just dancing on the edge of this fight, jumping in again, throwing down another heal, and with my passive, we need to push top. So very nice. As you can see, we've managed to grab the curse. There's 2 members of the enemy team down, and top is our most push lane, and by most push lane I mean that we've managed to get the furthest in terms of destroying their forts. So it's a great time for us as a team. It's like a power play in ice hockey or similar. We're in a very, very nice position. So I'm going to throw down my healing mist to make sure that the heals keep coming. Can I shield our golem? I can. So I'm going to throw a shield on the golem for good measure. We could just attack the base now. I think we should. But nope, our golem, for some reason I cannot determine, is just deciding to attack the mini turret. So suddenly they've all respawned. Kerrigan is running very, very fast. I am going to make sure that I've got the right people shielded, and Dark One should really move. I tried to keep Dark One alive. I tried to keep our Rainer alive as long as I can. They should retreat now, and our team should retreat now because we are 2 people down. If we'd focused the core, I believe we would have actually won. Oh, and a nice little Diablo call. Picked up there. So you can see in that team fight I was trying to dance around the edges, but my death came when I actually got too close to the front line and I got hooked in. So as a support, as Brightwing or similar, your blink heal is only going to get you so far. You need to make sure that your initial positioning is good and remains good. If you do blink in, remember that they heal someone, that puts you right next to him. If they are a meleeing character or something dangerous or nasty like that, they may cause you a few problems. So as our team is rallying into the middle, I'm going to throw down a pixie dust on myself. But oh, we have lost stitches. We have lost stitches to minions. Now we're not going to push, even though it's even times. I'm going to push and make sure that I can just ensure that I can cover the retreat of my team here. There we go. Oh! If I blink healed, I would have saved Diablo. That was my fault. Throwing a pixie on him was not enough when Nova was using a triple tap. Nova's ultimate, of course, that does nasty, nasty damage. Well, I'm not going to be tanking this boss, Golem. Pick it all you like. There we go. Okay. Initiation has been made. Okay, I'm going to help out by throwing down some damage. I'm going to blink heal onto Kerrigan. Why not? There we go. Quick grabbing of the golem, and we should go and make sure we get a tribute. Our team, I do have to say, has been very good at covering the tribute so far. There we go. Computer Stitches is probably sadly going to perish for his troubles. And meanwhile, I've just cheekily at the back of the whole game. Oh, Nova is just sniping. And she'll do it again unless you cover me. 1, 2, 3. There's a triple tap, but it's not going to get her any further because we've managed to grab a tribute. And then Nova comes out of heal there. Oh, Kerrigan, however, we've managed to grab Nova in there. Can we stop her from stealthing? We cannot. However, I'm going to throw my pixie dust on Stitches so he can continue pushing. Meanwhile, like I said, my team decided that, you know what, mercenaries are not a bad thing to do. Very good time for me to throw. Oh! No. The golem, in the meantime, has done our dirty work for us. Lovely stuff. So, that is our look into Brightwing. So if you're tuning in live, don't go away, because we are going to be jumping straight into another hero very, very shortly. However, if you are tuning in on YouTube, thank you oh so much for tuning in to this little hero preview on FailCraft Casts. We've just taken a real quick look at Brightwing, taken a quick look at how you can support in games, run through her abilities, and looks at how she can work very well, and how she can actually suffer a little bit if you don't position her quite correctly. So, for those of you live, don't go away. For those of you tuning in on the YouTubes, thanks so much for tuning in. And you can find us at FailCraft Casts on Twitter. Do drop us a shout. YouTube.com/FailCraft Casts. You can find a bunch of other Heroes of the Storm videos, as well as our Hearthstone half-hour series, and a bunch of other gaming content. Please do check that out. We're also on the web at failcraft.org. The website is there with blogs, all of our videos, and some new player guides and articles and other similar things. And last but not least, we also have our Twitch channel, so if you are not watching live, come and join us live at twitch.tv/FailCraft Cast. We try and do Monday to Friday evenings, around about 7 to 8 PM UK time, but we'll always tweet on at FailCraft Cast on Twitter when we're going to be going live. So thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed. Do share, like, comment, and do let me know about anything else, how we can improve the content for you. So this has been the Heroes Half Hour. I've been Hammy from FailCraft Casts, and take it easy.